I'm back for more because I don't know what's good for me. Anyway, we're going to talk about the last two things I bought now. And these were probably, I don't know, I guess you could call them two of the things that I was looking forward to. One of which is Brightest Day #6, with a very nice David Finch cover there. And also is Legion of Superheroes #3 by Paul Levitz. We will start with Brightest Day. Brightest Day, I've talked about Brightest Day in the past, so I don't really need to get into logistics again. Anyway, as I have mentioned in the past, though, some segments are being excluded from certain weeks in the, I guess, just in the sake of trying to keep a somewhat being able to tell parts of a story without being interrupted. And I think that is probably going to be Brightest Day's downfall, is the fact that there's probably too many stories going on for it to really effectively showcase them all. So, as by the cover, Martian Manhunter's on here. Martian Manhunter does feature after being absent for 2 issues, as does Firestorm, and as does Aquaman and Deadman. The Hawks do not feature in this issue. So if you were looking for Hawkman, it's not here. Johns and Tomasi are, again, it's Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi working on this together, and this one's pretty good. I mean, the stories that are presented. The Aquaman stuff kind of builds on the things from last issue, where we found out that Mara is essentially from a group of offshoot Atlanteans and was initially sent to kill Aquaman. And in this issue, we kind of get the backstory on that, and we find out that her younger sister has taken up the cause against Aquaman. So that is potentially an issue that they're having. While still, Aquaman is dealing with the fact that when he summons sea creatures, he summons dead sea creatures. Which, you know, if you ask me, if Aquaman's summoning zombie sharks, people aren't going to give him as much crap as they do. Because you know what, if he makes fun, if you're making fun of him, and then he sends a zombie shark to devour you, I'd stop making fun of the guy. Who knows? Anyway, Aquaman. Aquaman doesn't feature heavily in this. He's only in it for a couple of pages. And Deadman, of course, gets a little bit more screen time, because at the end of last issue, he was going to try to bring back Holly Granger, and needless to say, the White Ring says no. The White Ring's like, no. It kind of creates an illusion of them fighting a Black Lantern Holly and doesn't let them do it. And then the Ring tells him he eats a cheeseburger because he's hungry. Because apparently he forgot to eat after he came back to life. Which I guess, if you've been dead for however long and you come back, you're something not going to necessarily realize you need to eat. Anyway, those segments are good. That's the Deadman and Aquaman segments are drawn by Ivan Rice, who did Blackest Night. The guy's awesome, and he's fast. He's done a lot of pages on this. I mean, this is bi-monthly, and I mean, last month, between issues 4 and 5, he probably did about 30 pages. I mean, with 6 thrown in, we're probably looking at close to 40 pages. So he's knocking out some stuff here, really, really well. And following those segments, we have Firestorm segments featuring the great art of Scott Clark. This kind of continues the Firestorm issues of Ronnie remembering everything he did as a Black Lantern and remembering killing Jason Rush, the second Firestorm's girlfriend, or turning her into salt, basically. And he remembers all that, and he's going through a horrible time trying to deal with that. And now they kind of reform into Firestorm here. Jason and Ronnie form into Firestorm here. And it turns out that there is an additional voice kind of in their heads, and it's believed that it's the Black Lantern Firestorm. And so now those two united in a way, because Jason and Ronnie has rather an emotional moment where he admits to Jason that he remembers all of this, and he almost can't bear it. So we get a good moment between them, and then they realize that something is inherently wrong here, because the Black Lantern Firestorm's in their head, and he definitely shouldn't be. And then following that, we get a little bit more into the Martian Manhunter segments. Martian Manhunter stuff was drawn by Patrick Gleason, who did a great run on Green Lantern Corps, and will also, with Peter Tomasi, be taking over Batman and Robin in November, presumably from Grant Morrison. We don't know where Grant Morrison's going yet. I hope we find out soon. But San Diego Comic-Con is this week, so we'll probably find out. And I may have some videos this weekend over the San Diego Comic-Con. Anyway, Martian Manhunter features here. He's kind of going on a quest. It turns out that there was more than meets the eye regarding his origin here. So he is looking for more information, and we're introduced to another, presumably Martian character, who is, needless to say, not very nice. Probably, definitely going to be a confrontation between them later, obviously. And so John, trying to get some answers, realizes that all of the white Martians are accounted for. So he knows that whoever this is, it's not a white Martian. So he then sets off on his quest to figure out what's going on, and then runs into Miss Martian from the Titans, and she's been attacked. So it's good. I think that I'm glad that Martian Manhunter and Firestorm are getting some more screen time here, and I'm hoping in the future we get a little more of those, because those stories are pretty compelling. Anyway, I'm not necessarily going to close out this week, because I may still talk about the Batwoman hardcover. But this is, naturally, Legion of Superheroes #3. Paul Levitz is back on the Legion with Yildiray Cinar, Francis Portela, and Wayne Foucher in tow. I believe this is the longer book. I think that's why they've got an additional artist. But after Earthman becoming a Green Lantern in the first issue, and finally admitting it last issue, we kind of see him sent on a mission where he is forced to act as Green Lantern of Sector 2814. And it's kind of good. You actually get to see him trying to be a hero, because he's doing, the ring is guiding him to this place, and he ends up, with the help of some Legionnaires, saving that place. So Earthman kind of gets a moment where he embraces the fact that he has to do this, and the Legion reluctantly helps him. But you can tell still that they don't want to, I mean, this is the guy that enslaved them, stole their powers, so naturally the Legion doesn't want to help the guy. But anyway, that story beat is ended with Earthman basically deciding that Green Lantern, it's not for him. And so at the end of the issue, he abandons the ring. But there's other stuff going on here. Last issue, Saturn Queen was mentally controlling a bunch of members of the Legion to try to naturally cause issues. She had control of Brainiac, Tyrock, and had taken control of Ultra Boy and was setting him loose on the Legion headquarters. Naturally, last issue, that was thwarted. So this issue, she is confronted, and between the combined efforts of everyone involved, they defeat Saturn Queen and take her into custody. And then we also get more information regarding the situation with Saturn Girl and her 2 kids that went missing in issue 1 off of Titan. And so she meets up with her husband, Lightning Lad, and his sister, Lightning Lass, to try to locate them in this issue. After she went off by herself, they find her, and she had an image that they were on the planet Avalon. And so Lightning Lad takes them to, naturally, Avalon. And at the end of the issue, we find out that Avalon, formerly a medieval world, now has a shrine to Darkseid. So, a lot of really compelling stuff here. Levitz has essentially 3 storylines going on here, and he handles them all pretty well. And the artwork of Yildiray Cinar and Francis Portela, again, blends in fairly well. The transitions are not very jarring. It usually works pretty well. And they're doing some really, really great work on this book. Paul Levitz is getting the voices of the characters really, really well. He's done some other stuff at DC that's been really, really good. And I haven't really read much of his Adventure Comics run, but I've heard that it's not as good as this. But this is definitely a Legion of Superheroes that I can get behind. But it's really, really great. The Earthman story is really compelling. I mean, this is a guy you're supposed to hate, but at times you can see that the hero he wants to be. You can see the struggle that he internally has about what he is and what he does. We're starting to get slowly into his head as just who he is, and I think that I'm kind of glad that Paul Levitz is running with that he's picking up these plot threads that Geoff Johns started. So it's been really, really good. If you're a Legion fan, I think that this is a Legion you can support, and it's a pretty good week for comics for the most part. Like I said, I've still got the Batwoman hardcover elegy that I may talk about in a little bit, featuring great art by J.H. Williams. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Again, I may be back, and look here, San Diego Comic-Con's coming up. I may have some stuff to talk about. So thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you later.